Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, all the stuff that we did not get to during the course of the show. And we are streaming this live on Facebook as well. Just search Wally Show if you're on Facebook. And, from time to time, we have people stop in that are potties from around the country. And that is the case today. We have Mackenzie with us. Jump on up to that mic there, Mackenzie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Now, Mackenzie, when she first walked in, the first thing that struck me is, wow, she is 19 years old. And then as we unraveled her life a little bit more, she is 33 and has how many kids?
4.
4 kids.
Yeah.
And if you're streaming this or not streaming this, you should go stream this. This girl does not look like she's 33 with 4 kids.
Well, hopefully the camera.
Yeah. How do you not have a million wrinkles with 4 kids? Like, I would lose my
I'm
mind.
surprised I don't have more gray hair.
Yes, exactly.
You don't have any.
Well, I pull it.
Yeah. What are your kids' age ranges?
My oldest is 11. I have 2 boys, an 11-year-old, an 8-year-old, and then a 5-year-old girl and a 2.5-year-old girl.
Oh, wow. Okay,
So
that is a
quite
lot.
The span.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And the 11-year-old likes me and cares about me a lot more than the people in this room do.
Really?
Yes.
Does.
Oh, that's good.
They were
Every
at the
time-
store the
yeah.
other day, yeah.
He sees a clown. He's like, oh, Becca would not like being here right now. It would be so rough for her.
That's so sweet.
What a sweet heart that kid has.
I love him.
So sweet.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
I'm so glad he's my oldest.
You've been, because he
helps
can
me
help
out.
with the other kids too. Now you've been listening since the Total Access days. A lot of
Yeah.
people might not know that this show started off over 10 years ago with a show called Total Access, and it was first Zach and me and Betty together. Like Betty was an intern for like 2 years, and Zach, I hired him 3 months into the show, and we used to interview a ton of people.
Yeah.
Like we would do like 4 interviews a week, like of just different artists and stuff, and it was just exhausting because we never wanted to do the same thing with any of them twice, and so it was hard. And then we kind of moved off of that, and then we went to afternoons, and then we went to mornings, and then we added Becca into this mix a couple years ago, and it's wonderful. Like I'm the happiest with the show I've ever been. I love coming in and doing the show, and I think it works now.
Because I joined a couple years ago.
Yes, you read right through what I was saying. But can you tell a difference in the show between what it was
Oh,
at Total
my
Access days?
Oh my goodness. Well, there was maybe a year ago when you guys replayed an old Total Access episode on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, Wally, you have changed. Like, you have matured. I was like, wow, that was rough back then.
Yeah, and it's funny because we used to air those on days when we weren't on, and we would go flashback and play some old stuff. And I actually had them stop doing that because it wasn't a representation of who I am now, because I was definitely more caustic and angry.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, I've tried hard to change myself and change that perception, and we're like undoing it by playing
And you
these.
didn't want to have to deal with the complaints all over again.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I spent 4 years here getting just hate mail, and so then to relive all of that again was just like brutal. So I'm actually glad that you see a little bit of a change in the show.
A drastic change.
Oh,
I mean,
that's cool.
I was surprised when I really heard that. I was like, wow, it's really come so far to the point where like my kids listen and they love it. Even my 2-year-old, when we get in the car, if we try to put something else on, she's like, "Wally Show."
Oh, I love it. Oh, she's so smart. She's smart,
so
that
smart.
one.
Yeah.
Now, Zach, it's funny because you had text or email me about coming in. I'm like, yeah, come on. Like when potties come to town, we love our potties. And it's like, you can come sit in with us. It's great. And who knows, you end up being on the podcast. But Zach was like, hey, are you turquoise something? I'm like, what is going on over here?
There's something weird that happened. I missed part of it because I was getting a chair from the other room.
Yeah, he started asking her about some online name, and I'm like, what in the world?
No, because she comments on stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
And she looked kind of familiar from her profile picture, and she was wearing the turquoise, which really set me off.
Okay.
But because I remember reading something about like she did a podcast, and when you see people, when you do a podcast and podcasters follow you.
Okay, stalker.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'd like to point out that the Instagram picture is about the size of half of a penny. And like you can never pick out anybody's face from that.
The
But
size
that,
of your pinky now.
yeah, but Zach's like, you're the girl. It's you. It's you,
She's
turquoise
married.
girl.
And see, I was wanting to not be like too fangirlish when I came in here because I'm going to meet like all these people at this conference this weekend and everything. But this was the show where I was like,
Nice.
oh, I'm so excited.
And then
It's
Zach
like,
fangirls over you.
gosh.
You're a turquoise girl. It's a turquoise girl,
Okay,
guys.
that wasn't quite his reaction.
That wasn't-
It was
not-
more
not
like,
quite.
oh my gosh!
Yes, okay, you're right.
Oh my gosh!
You're right. You nailed
The
it.
turquoise girl is visiting us today.
You guys better be on your best behavior. Do not embarrass me in front of turquoise
She has like
lady.
3,000 followers.
Does
so
she really?
Yeah.
What do you do that you have that many followers?
I have a podcast.
And what do you
I
talk-
told you this.
But what do you talk about?
I talk about a lot of mom stuff. It's called Cultivating the Lovely. And so I interview authors and moms, and we talk about how to bring loveliness into like your everyday life when things are just hard and you're in the mundane, and trying to find like those little moments to listen to a podcast while you're folding laundry or whatever. So it's a lot of that kind of thing.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, 3,000 followers, that's successful.
That's
I
nothing
would
to
think.
laugh
I'm not
about.
I'm not like a podcast guy, so I don't know numbers.
Well, that's
and
on
stuff.
Instagram. I'm at Bold Turquoise on Instagram, but the podcast is
It's its own thing.
yeah, sort of.
Fine.
That's just like my social media.
Do you sit in a closet and do your podcast?
Basically.
Do you really? Because you got to hide from your kids.
Yeah, I have like this little nook in my room that literally I pinned blankets up on the walls, and I stole my daughter's Anna and Elsa blanket.
Nice.
She keeps asking for it back, but it fits perfectly. And so I was like, sorry, honey.
That's so DIY, but I love that. I mean, honestly, like I used to kind of
Is
make.
you?
Oh, you
That's
just
me.
found her?
Yeah.
I used to kind of like make fun of different like podcasters and bloggers and stuff, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like what you have to, why are you doing this? Like you have to say something or whatever. Then I realized, oh wait, that's what I do every day.
Yeah.
And I just have the advantage of doing it, on the radio for all these years. But because there is something cathartic about talking about life and your things and other people and stuff. And the things that I love about this job, and that's like meeting people like you that listen and stuff, are the things that I was like almost wanting to deprive other people of, and stuff. And so that's really cool. I like the DIY nature of it. Like you just get it done, and I like the fact that you have an Anna and Elsa blanket. I want one in the studio now, to remind me where I came from.
Really sets the mood.
Yes, I think that's great. I think that's really cool, man. So I appreciate you being here with us. Why are you in town again? A conference of homeschoolers?
Yes, it's called the Wild and Free Conference. So
Okay.
I'm just coming to go to the conference.
Do you
so.
learn to teach your kids better, or is it curriculum based? Like what? 'cause
Yell
We
less?
think
Yes.
we actually, it's so funny. We just know a couple of the people who are speaking at the conference.
Right.
Like I've had them on my podcast and stuff. And so we're like, well, this would be a great opportunity for us to get together. And we're not even really that sure what they're going to be doing at the
Okay,
conference. It was
trust
just a
me. I go to a
good-
conference every year, and I don't know any of this stuff. So, like, I
I
get
think
it.
it'll be like homeschool encouragement kinds of stuff.
Okay,
So,
okay. My sister homeschooled 7 boys.
Wow.
And she made it through, and I'm sure she went to a conference or two. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll pick up something that will help you not pull your hair out.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mackenzie, for joining us. And you even met a friend too that you met online and you met here.
Yeah.
And not Zach stalking, but like a different kind of friend. And so that's cool. And you guys came here together. Hey,
Yeah.
Did you tell her about our podcast, or
Yes.
or was this like? Okay, we're gonna go meet these weird people. Don't like look them in the eye. Don't like make any sudden movements. Like, is she aware of who we are?
Yes, I
Okay.
told her you need to do your homework and
Okay.
start listening to the show so you know who we're meeting. So
Oh, good for you.
She has listened.
Awesome,
yes.
awesome. Well, it's great to have you, Rebecca, and Mackenzie. Another Rebecca in this room is
Yes.
throwing me off.
Yes.
I know. I got Becca and Rebecca and Betty, and I can't get it all done. So, all right, let's get to a little bit of the stuff from the show that we did not get to today, and that would be a little least of these.
Okie dokie, I'm not ready.
How is that possible?
Because I was watching the comments from the live feed.
Okay, this always sneaks
Give
up on
me-
Betty.
give
I
me some
cannot.
little-
Should we
on
address some
that.
things going on in the comments?
Sure, I haven't. Yeah.
Please.
I've been responding. Okay, so
Thank you.
to explain our caption for our live video right
Yes.
now. Starting on Monday, we will no longer be on
show.
our. Yes.
What?
But
No, that's not
Wait,
it.
we didn't tell Betty yet?
yeah. Well, we
I
figured
don't
she
have a
wouldn't
job.
know it anyway. We figured she wouldn't be aware of it.
No, that's not it. Okay, so we're no longer going to be on our non-WayFM stations.
Yeah.
But we will still have the podcast. It's going to be
Yep.
available. You can find it at allwally.com through the podcast app, whatever the Android or Google version of the podcast app is. And you can even download the WayFM app, which is just search WayFM in the App Store and listen live.
If you're just a full-blown potty, that's the only way you consume the show. Nothing will change for you. It's going to be the exact same same show. You're going to get it exactly the way we do. You still get the Aftercast. But if you sometimes listen on your station and they say on Pulse 98.7 instead of Way FM, then we're not going to be on that station or those stations anymore. So, and honestly, it wasn't like anything that anybody. It's so funny. One of the stations that we were coming off of that we don't own, it said, "Hey, we'd like you to do a goodbye for our people that have listened for all these years." And here's a little script thing. So fine, I look at the script and it says, and so there. What was the actual wording? There was nothing. What was the word?
Nothing scandalous.
Nothing scandalous went on.
Yeah.
The Wally Show's not going to be on the station anymore. Nothing scandalous went on. Like, it's so sad that you have to qualify that because that's what people think.
It is. And I remember when I listened to the radio growing up, I remember 2 DJs getting fired because they did a stunt or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that happens all the time. So I think people assume the worst, and that's kind of fair.
And typically in radio, it's changed a little bit over the years, but typically in radio, you're on one day, like, hey, we'll see you Monday. And then Monday rolls around and you are gone.
Crickets.
You have been stripped from the website. There is no mention of you.
Because as soon as the show ended Friday,
you got canned. The boss comes in. Hey, can I see you guys in my office real quick? Just take a minute. Hey, sure, man. Are we going to do lunch today? Not really. And then that's when you get canned, is like right after your show. And they make you work your last day, like on Friday. It's always on a Friday, and they make you work the whole week. It's like, cut me at Monday. Let me at least have a week off. Like, we're going to enjoy it.
And it has nothing to do with the new boss. A couple people have asked that.
Oh, no.
This decision came down long before we even knew who he was.
New boss is a big fan of the show, which I love, and so that's a good thing, and we're excited about having him in. But the whole reason for this was because Way FM, pays all of us. We work for Way FM.
They own our souls.
They do. and so what happens is when you have all these other stations, for years, we haven't been able to talk about a lot of things going on Way FM. Like, there's another afternoon show called Carlos and Joy.
They're not just our friends.
Yeah, you'll hear us say, our friends Carlos and Joy did this. We can't maximize on our own station the synergy between the shows and talking about the things that we do here that are really great ministry and stuff, and a lot of that stuff gets lost. And so our ministry said, you know what, we want to take this back and have you guys be able to just be fully integrated into what we do. And I support the decision, so I'm not scapegoating in that or throwing that off on bosses or something like that. I think it's the right thing to do for Way FM.
Even though we hate leaving some of these places where people have been so loyal for so long, and that's really tough.
Yeah, someone asked about Spirit out in California.
Yeah, that's one.
Rob Anthony emailed me the other day. So kind, like such a great guy.
Yeah, he's the boss out there
to work with. Yeah, and so we're definitely going to miss a lot of those relationships for sure.
So to answer some of the questions, nothing scandalous. Nobody at any of the stations did anything wrong. We haven't done anything wrong. It's basically, I hate to say it, as far as when you combine a ministry with this, but it's a business decision in essence. It's just the right thing to do for this ministry, and so that's why. And so that's where we're going. But again, if you're a straight up potty, doesn't change anything.
It's a nice thing about the digital age. You can still...
So if we're going away on your station, and maybe you're just seeing this video, you don't listen to the podcast normally, check it out. It's the same show strung together, plus this nonsense.
Yep. One day, Zach hopes that all radio goes away. Like, he secretly is in
Not
the
so
corner.
much a hope as an anticipation.
You and I have a very different viewpoint of that.
Mine is based on stats and numbers.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't see that ever happening.
It's never going to go away, but the same number of people are going to listen, but it's for less and less time. Like, people used to listen for 4 hours a week to radio, and now it's like 10 minutes a week. So
but see, there was a different metric for rating things too, and they used to say people listen for 4 hours, but I don't think they ever really did. I mean, I think talk stations and certain things, but because of how they did diaries, people would go, I listen. And now when they get these other things called people meters, it's a more accurate representation of how people
we're getting in too deep.
I know.
There's some truth to what you're saying, but when you look at overall people, like, there's so many more things to listen to. Like, in your car now, you can talk on the phone, you can listen to pre-recorded stuff. Like, there's so many more options. So the same size pie gets cut into lots of different pieces.
You get in your car on the way home, and what's the first thing you do?
I never listen to radio. I listen to podcasts of radio shows I like.
Yeah.
Because then I don't
People
have to sit through
really
commercials.
lost on Facebook Live. But here's a good question. Does this mean we get crossovers between shows now, Michael asks?
Like the Avengers or the
That's a fair question. Yeah, there will be some of that. Like, we'll talk about stuff that they have going on. They'll talk about stuff we have going on. We had talked one time about doing a podcast, like us versus them kind of thing. Not versus.
Wow.
Not us versus, but yeah, together, I meant. All right, so that's that. All right, now Betty Rock, you've had ample time.
I've been
Don't
ready.
say you've been ready.
I've been ready. But y'all just went on and
Don't
on
go
about
there.
radio stats that nobody cares about.
Real quick, just to let you know, coming up after least of these is birthdays.
Okay.
The thing you do every day.
Yeah, are you ready for that?
Yes. Guys, I was just watching the. Okay, so I'm not allowed to watch the video anymore when we do a live video. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, that's
Now I
exactly
know.
what I was saying.
Now that I've been yelled at for it.
It's exactly
okay,
not
good.
what I was saying.
Well, that's what I was doing, and then you got mad at me.
No, I didn't get mad at you.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You yelled at me.
I laughed with you.
No, you got
I yelled
mad.
with you.
Nope. Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld, she shared on social media yesterday that she has breast cancer, and she hasn't said what stage she's in or whether or not doctors were able to catch it early, but she did say that 1 in 8 women get breast cancer. Today, I'm the one.
Oh,
so
man, that
she's
stinks.
just thankful for the family and the friends that she has to back her up and help her out during this time.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter the amount of money you have when you go through something like that, as far as like the toll it takes on your body. It's hard, and it's nice if you have extra resources because you can travel different places to get different treatments, or you can, while you're fighting it, you can, maybe fight it in a little bit better accommodations, but
Yeah.
it's still, it's hard.
Yeah, and then part of her statement too is something about, I'm more fortunate than most. Like she kind of mentioned, I don't remember the exact wording.
She understands
but
that.
Basically saying like, hey, but let's still fight this together because it's just a terrible disease.
Yeah, you hate to see that. We
Yeah.
lost my mother-in-law and to that, and she fought for 7 years, and it was so hard on her, to the point where she couldn't anymore. It's horrible. But hopefully, if any good comes out of this, it's when high-profile people, and I'm not saying I would ever wish it on anybody. I'm not saying God pushed it on people, but in any situation, you have the choice of having something be a negative or turning that into a positive. And the way she goes through this and raises awareness for it can be something that, even though it's bad for her, it can be something that's good for other people. I mean, that's inside of our faith. That's a big part of Romans 8:28 that I've always, it took me years to get to this point, and I think I'm right, on this, but like when the Bible talks about all things working together for good for those who are called according to his purpose, love God and called according to his purpose, I don't think that always means that it's good for us necessarily physically in that moment sometimes, but there can be good for other people, and that's the collective good. And even inside of the hardship, there can be good for you, even though some things you walk through are horrible and you'd never choose them, but there can be good in those. And maybe that's why God doesn't show us the whole plan, because of that very reason. Because if you are like me, you are pain averse, and you will do anything you can in your power to avoid heartache and pain and all of that stuff. But sometimes going through that is what makes you ultimately who you are. So there you go. Let's do a little birthdays, and then we'll find out what you're doing this weekend.
Jennifer wants to wish her youngest son, Adam, a happy birthday. He's turning 9 years old and loves to help people. So happy birthday, Adam. And then Sam wants to wish her best friend, or his best friend, not sure, Alex, a happy birthday, saying she's the most amazing friend anyone could ask for, and she's absolutely obsessed with your show. We're listening right now, and she asked if I got her a birthday shout out. So happy birthday.
There you go. Is there a question associated?
We are on our way to Disneyland for her birthday trip. So my question is, what is your favorite thing about Disneyland? I cannot answer this question because I have never been to Disneyland.
I have been to Disneyland. I used to work in Disneyland. And I worked at, it's so funny, I worked at both parks. I worked at Disney World, and we had studios in what was then MGM Studios, is now Hollywood Studios.
And you lived there in one of the It's a Small World Afterworld houses.
Yeah, we actually, one time we had an idea when we were at Disneyland to try and break a world's record for riding It's a Small World the longest. And and it seemed like a great idea at the time, and then you're like, oh, this would be horrible.
What is the record, by the way?
I forgot what it was. I forgot, and it was going to take a few days, basically, like 3 or 4 days.
It was 3 trips. No one could possibly do more than 3 trips around.
Yes. And I wanted to do that, and then they were rehabbing it at the time, so we couldn't do it. But the thing about Disneyland, which is great, it's a little smaller, but it's less congested. That's the best part about Disneyland. And now they have a park right across the street from it called California Adventure, which has a Cars, like Disney Cars ride, which I heard is really good, and has Soarin', so that's a good ride to go on as well. But yeah, just the lack of congestion congestion. But it's weird because it's in the middle of a city. Disney World, you drive on a property and you're out away from everything, and it's its own place. Disneyland, you're in Anaheim, like, there's a cheesy hotel. Like, it used to be surrounded by all this garbage hotels and stuff, and then all of a sudden, here's the second happiest place on earth.
Second
right
happiest?
There. Yeah.
Is that their motto?
It is, because Disney World is the happiest.
Someone told me that one is now the happiest place on earth, and the other is the most magical place on earth.
I could see that. I wonder if Disneyland, because it was first, was happiest, and Disney World is the most magical.
That's what I was led to believe.
I could see that. They have all rules about how you have to refer to them and stuff. But I'll tell you what, man, there's something about that place. And we got to get Betty. We got to take Betty on a road trip and experience this. Becca, you've been, right?
I have. Joey and I decided to go as adults because we never got to go as kids. And it
You
was
never went as a kid?
No.
Ever?
No.
That is so
Because
weird.
I didn't grow up in Florida. That's such an expensive
I know.
trip.
That's the thing. I take for granted that I grew up in Florida, so we could drive. My mom packed sandwiches, and we went in, we'd go once every few years. But yeah, when you're having to bring your whole family from out of the state, it is
Yeah, we
expensive.
couldn't have afforded that. And we weren't like super poor or anything, but we couldn't have afforded that trip. And we did all our vacations at golf courses anyway. So.
Yeah.
I never went to Disneyland, but I did go to Opryland, and
Close
we got
enough.
to ride the Grizzly Rampage.
Let me just tell you, it's not even the same at all.
We got to ride the Wabash Cannonball.
Still, nope.
Got to see Marty Stewart live.
Nope.
And he sang Hillbilly Rock.
Your little head would explode at Disney. You'd be like, oh, this is so perfect.
Well, and it'd throw you off because you have to wear shoes at Disney.
Yes.
Whereas,
Yeah.
I don't know
Opryland,
about that.
not a thing.
Whatever.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, when I worked there, it was so much fun. Like, if you were having a bad day, we'd be in the studio and fighting or some problem with business stuff or whatever, and we would purposely leave the studio and walk down Main Street to just like calm down, and it was so peaceful and fun, and they've created a great little escape, a great getaway, and I absolutely love it. So there you go. All right.
I have a quick question from the comments on our live video, just because this is very interesting to me. Rebecca's saying that she used to listen to our podcast, but then the app updated and now they go in reverse, which I'd never heard of before. Any insight?
The actual podcast plays backwards, or the back?
They're,
Like
they're listed from newest to oldest.
in our app?
Yeah, what app is it, Rebecca? What app are you using? Let's take a few minutes because there's a delay on the video.
We did switch up the order of the Aftercast and the podcast so that now the podcast will show up as most recent, and then the Aftercast will follow.
Because the Aftercast is supposed to be after it.
Oh, she's saying they're listed from newest to oldest. I want to listen from oldest to newest. I got
good luck.
you. Okay.
Because we go back like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I have people that will
Sorry about
pull
that.
hours and hours and hours of these things when they go on a road trip, and
Right.
will listen, and they'll binge listen.
Podcasts are the best way to road trip. It can make like 2 hours go by in a blink.
I did that with Serial, that first podcast
Yeah.
season. I did that on a trip once, and I
You
did
cross
like
the
that.
state without knowing you did it.
Yeah. I did that, and my family is just oblivious to me. Like, and I just have my headphones on, and
They're like, we're supposed to be going to Indiana, but somehow we're in St. Louis. Why?
Yeah, I missed 18 turns, but I didn't
Yes.
care.
By the way, if you want to sneak a little bit of inside knowledge, on Monday there will be a great new way to listen to the podcast.
What?
What?
Oh, that Way Nation thing.
That way-
We've been talking about it for years.
Oh my god!
But it's finally hit, like it's a
Yes.
huge upgrade to that site. There's something there right now, but on Monday it'll be a full new experience.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
That'll be very buggy. I'm making him so mad. I better stop while I'm ahead.
Waynation.com.
Also,
great.
our boss Farron is watching, so hi,
Oh,
Farron.
great! Another thing to promote. Oh, so happy! Can't we just do everything in one place?
No.
That is
no.
killing me. It's killing me. And I don't
Grandpa.
even know what happens with All Wally at this point, too, because we got to
That's
talk
still
about
there.
that. But I know we have to talk about that with wayfm.com and what that's going to look
You'll
like.
just say
for us.
wayfm.com.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll
We'll get to that.
figure that out later.
All right, that's on us. That's on us.
Waynation.com on Monday.
I don't know. I don't know why I was thinking about this. I don't know if
I was just pushing your buttons today. Okay.
I don't know if it's Way Nation that made me think of it, or what. I don't know why, but I was just thinking. I have just this utmost respect for one of the guys that we work with. His name's Farron. Like, and I don't know why this just hit me. It just came to mind, but I just love that guy.
Oh,
you
he's
know?
not watching anymore.
Oh, he's a jerk.
Oh, he's back on.
Oh, I love that guy.
He'll be out here
He'll
Monday.
be in town, yeah. Bringing in the new boss. We're actually excited about this. We've been trying to come up with some things, nice things to do for the guy as we
Hazing?
welcome him in. No, not hazing.
I
No.
suggested a puppy, but no one liked that idea.
Yeah, the puppy idea got shot down. Sorry, Todd. But yeah, so it's going to be a different change. We got a new president, and so it's going to be interesting. The next year here is going to be really interesting. For
We've
WFM.
literally gotten 2 out of our 3 bosses are brand new right now.
Yeah, and so we're having to train them. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but they are learning, which is good. They are learning.
And they're being good boys. You get treats.
All right, that's going to do it for your Aftercast for today. Have a great weekend. Hopefully you'll do something fun. I got some welding to do. That's on my list.
Wow.
We've spent the last 2 weekends in the hospital, so we
Yeah.
are staying home and doing nothing.
That feels good.
I love it.
Betty Rock already claimed she's doing the same thing, zero.
Yes.
No homework this weekend?
Oh, no, I've got plenty of homework.
Oh, okay. So you're going to get that
That's
done?
going to ruin it.
Okay, you got to keep on them grades, girl. You're getting through it. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Zach.
Friday Night Football.
Oh, your nephew.
Yes.
That's good.
Driving 45 minutes away today.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
Because Zach will have the windows down.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll have some sort of flag draping out of the car.
Yeah, we finally have fall weather-ish today.
Are you going to follow
here.
the bus and do the thing where you drive and you honk the horn and everything? You guys
No.
ever did that?
No.
What? You have
Follow
to
the bus.
follow the bus. Yeah, hey, what's up, bus? Yeah, you follow the team. Then when they get off the bus, you guys all stand there on the sides and clap them out. Come on.
No, I'm not that into it.
Okay, that's good. That was a test. I thought you were that kind of uncle. All right, that's gonna do it for the Aftercast for today.
I don't
What's
know.
wrong?
There's a comment. I don't know if we should.
Oh yeah, I was actually typing it up, so I'll just address it. Someone talked about the bottom line being more important to WayFM, but that's actually not the case because we're going to be losing money in this.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
this is just all about being more integrated with
that's
the
funny.
station.
Maybe when I said business, I maybe
It wasn't a
tainted
business
that.
decision as
right.
in to make more money. It's actually costing us
It's
Yeah.
a bad
A lot of
business
money.
It's
decision.
losing a lot of money.
Right? Yeah.
not a lot of money.
Yeah, so we're losing money from affiliates and fees and all that stuff, and we're also losing the amount of cum, which affects the people listening, which affects us. So there's a lot of things in this, but it's the right thing to do long term for building a better, stronger Way FM. So there you go. So sorry about that if you're upset.
Yeah, we are sorry, and we'll miss you
And
guys.
it's very valid. I would be upset
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Totally get it.
Yeah, hey man, I'm glad someone's
and there's
upset
no
we're gone. Are you
warning for
kidding
a
me?
lot of people. Yeah.
Like it's the first time ever anyone's been upset that I left. This is
Usually
new
they're,
territory.
Who dat?
Yeah. Seriously. Like I always tell people that. I'm like, every time you think you're irreplaceable, you get fired in radio, and like for a week, people are mad, like, oh, we're gonna protest the station, and then no one shows up. And then like, yeah, we're gonna bring you back, and it never happens. And so so just the fact that any one person would miss us, thank you. God bless you. All right, seriously, I really do mean it. This is it for today. And a good laugh is sunshine in a house. There you go. There's your quote for the day.
Bye bye.